All right, let's get right into it. We're going to look at the 7 habits, but maybe in a new way. Think of it less like a list of tips and more like an operating system you can install in your own life. One that can take you from feeling reactive and chaotic to being proactive and truly effective. It all starts with building your character first, because the results will follow.
You know, the entire system really boils down to one fundamental choice that we all face every single day. On one side, you've got reactive people. Their lives are pretty much run by their circumstances, their moods, the things that happen to them. They end up just explaining why their life is the way it is. But on the other side, you have proactive people. They're driven by their values, by what they've decided is important. They don't explain their lives, they design them.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It really puts the stakes right out there. Are you outsourcing control of your day to your email inbox, to a demanding boss, to whatever's trending online? Or are you actively reclaiming that control for yourself? That is the first and honestly, the most critical decision you can make.
So, to reclaim that control, we have to start with what's called the private victory. These are the first 3 habits, and they're all about you. It's about self-mastery. Because let's be honest, you can't effectively lead a team, a project, or a family if you haven't first learned to lead yourself. It has to start from the inside out.
And this visual gets to the heart of a mistake so many of us make. We get hyper-focused on the leaves of success. You know, the personality tricks, the communication skills. But real, lasting effectiveness, that grows from the deep, unseen roots. It comes from your character. That's what keeps you grounded when things get tough.
So habit 1 is where it all begins. Being proactive is all about understanding one crucial thing. Between what happens to you, the stimulus, and how you react, there is a space, a tiny gap. And in that space lies your freedom and your power to choose your response. It's about taking full ownership of that choice.
Let's make this really practical. The very next time you feel that reactive button get pushed, maybe it's a frustrating email or a critical comment, just don't fire back. Stop, pause for a second, and ask yourself this one simple question. What can I actually control here? Maybe it's just your tone, or their perspective, or one tiny action. Find that one thing and do it right away.
Okay, so once you've reclaimed control, you need a direction, a North Star. That's habit 2. It's about becoming the creator of your own life. It asks you to define, with total clarity, what you want it all to be about. Because if you don't decide for yourself what's important, believe me, the world will decide for you. And it almost always picks urgency over true meaning.
So here's your first real assignment. Tonight, just take a few minutes and write a single paragraph that defines your personal mission. What do you really stand for? What matters most to you? This isn't just some feel-good exercise. It becomes your personal constitution. You can use it to filter every decision. Does this task serve my mission? Does this opportunity align with my core values?
So now you've got control and you've got direction. Well, now you need execution. This brings us to habit 3, and this is where the rubber really meets the road. It's the discipline of actually organizing and executing around your priorities. Because what you say you value means nothing. Where your time and energy actually go, that's the truth.
I love this analogy. It just perfectly captures our daily battle, doesn't it? All the urgent things, the emails, the pings, the interruptions, they are always screaming for your attention. But the important things, the deep work, the relationship building, the long-term planning, they tend to speak in whispers. This habit is all about training yourself to listen to those whispers.
Here's a powerful way to start. Right now, look at your calendar for tomorrow. Find just one 30-minute window and block it out for something that's important but not urgent. Then, protect that time. Treat that appointment as if it's with the most important person in your professional life. Because it is. It's an appointment with your own future. Okay, so with that foundation of the private victory firmly in place, you have control, direction, and execution. Now we can move outward. The public victory is where we take that self-mastery and apply it to build incredibly effective relationships and get amazing results with other people.
The very first step to working well with others is a shift in your mindset. Habit 4, think win-win, is basically a frame of mind that is always looking for mutual benefit. And this isn't about just being nice, it's about being smart. It's understanding that in the long run, success isn't a zero-sum game. A win for you doesn't have to mean a loss for somebody else. You can try this simple script. The next time you're in any kind of negotiation or even just a disagreement, start by clearly and calmly stating what a win looks like for you. Then immediately pivot and ask with genuine curiosity. So, what would a win look like for you? How can we figure out a way for both of us to get there? That single question can change the entire dynamic from a fight to a collaboration. Now, this is probably the most famous habit, but it's also the one that's least practiced. The real key to influence isn't having the most brilliant argument, it's having genuine understanding. You have to see the world from the other person's point of view before you can ever hope to change it. You have to diagnose before you prescribe.
And this just brilliantly sums up the problem. Most of the time when someone else is talking, we're not really listening. We're just waiting for them to take a breath so we can jump in. We're busy formulating our response in our heads. We listen with the intent to reply. The shift here is to listen with the sole intent to see, to truly and deeply comprehend their reality.
You can practice this today. In your next important conversation, just try this. Give the other person your complete, undivided attention for a full 90 seconds. Don't interrupt. When they pause, don't jump in with your side. Instead, say something like, okay, so if I'm hearing you right, what you're saying is, and paraphrase their point until they say, yes, that's it exactly. Only then have you truly earned the right to be understood yourself.
So what happens when you combine that win-win mindset with the powerful skill of empathic listening? You unlock synergy. Now, this isn't just a corporate buzzword for teamwork or compromise. Synergy is where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. It's when you create a third alternative that's actually better than what either of you could have imagined on your own.
Here's a simple way to spark this. In your next team meeting, when everyone seems stuck between option A and option B, actively invite a completely different point of view. Ask the quiet person in the room for their thoughts. Then, frame the question. This is really interesting. How could we combine the best parts of all our ideas to create something totally new and better? Go on a hunt for that third alternative.
All right, so we've covered the private victory and the public victory. But how do you keep this entire system running for the long haul? Well, that brings us to the final and maybe the most important habit of all. This is the habit of renewal, the one that makes everything else possible. Habit 7 is simply about taking the time to renew yourself. The classic story is about the woodcutter who's so busy sawing down a tree that he never stops to sharpen his saw, and then he wonders why the work is getting harder and harder. This isn't about taking a break as a reward. It's about recognizing that rest, your health, continued learning, and your relationships, these are the absolute prerequisites for sustainable high performance. So, there you have it. We've walked through the entire operating system, from mastering yourself to collaborating with others and keeping it all going. At this point, the question isn't really, what should I do anymore, is it? It's, will I do it? So, are you ready to run the experiment?
Let's make this incredibly concrete with a simple 14-day test. Day 1, you write that one-paragraph mission statement. For the next 6 days, you schedule and fiercely protect just one 30-minute block for that important, non-urgent work. Sometime in that first week, you run that empathic listening exercise. And then, the most crucial step, you write down one measurable result you noticed. What actually changed?
Because in the end, this isn't about quick fixes or finding the latest life hack. It's about a fundamental shift in the way you see yourself and the world. It's a move from just being a manager of your to-do list to becoming the leader of your own life. This isn't self-help. It is self-leadership.